Okay, welcome to the call, ladies. It is, what is it, the 20th for you guys, and I'm out in Australia, so it's the 21st for me, and we're on our Module 4 for Sales Mastery. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And you can see my screen still, right?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So welcome to Sales Mastery Module 4. I know Trevor did the call. I was on the plane last time, so I missed it. But we're just going to switch off. So likely he'll just do the next call so that we don't both need to be on here with our 2 cents so that we can talk to you guys more and make sure you get the content. So today we're just going to go, we're going to do a quick review on what you went over with Trevor last week. And I want to hear a bit from you. And then I'm going to give you some new content as well. And I'm just going to tell you right straight away that we gave you a 20-page document, and to use this as like an awesome resource, because we took some of this at the end of the document. We took it directly from our Business Mastery 6-month course. So we want to give you even more than we promised. But at the same time, you don't need to get into everything. So use it, at your discretion, because I don't want you guys to feel overwhelmed. So I'm going to go through specific things that I think are really valuable. But some of it is more like kind of like little worksheets to help you get through it. So just use it at your discretion. It's a resource for you, but I'll point out the most important things so that you can you have extra stuff if you want it, but you don't have to go that deep if you don't. Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Was there a question? I thought I heard an with the question. So guess not. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go into a couple things, and I want to hear from you guys. Here is just another visual for you. We like to call it MAP or GAP. And have you guys has anyone listened to our 5 shortcuts to shake your moneymaker bonus?
I haven't.
No, okay. Okay, no, that's cool. There's just going to be more stuff for you guys when you're ready for it. So on your website, when you go to bonuses, you'll see the 5 shortcuts to shake your moneymaker, which is a 5-part video series. And one of the things we talk about is, do you have a MAP or a GAP? And your MAP is your massive action plan. So really is a plan, to get you the result that you want. Or do you have a gap? Are there things missing? Like what is missing in your plan that is, maybe disabling you to get the result that you want? So here's just another visual for that. And, we always draw the X at the bottom left side of the page and the target at the right. So if you remember, the stages of the sale has a similar look with the X marks the spot, like where you are now, and the target is where you want to be. And this is just another visual and kind of like a worksheet that you can use. And there are a couple different ways you can use this. What I like to think about is, I know, Maria, I did listen to some of the recording from last week, and I know you were talking about like you were putting together a plan for the month, right? I think you mentioned something about putting together like your marketing plan, right?
Yep.
Cool. So this could be a really simple way to say, okay, here's where I am, and then that's where I want to be. Let's say I want to be, have 5 clients. And what has to happen if I had to kind of chunk it into small steps? Because sometimes it's, you see an elephant there, which is more for balance, but I think of like, for me, it's like there's this huge elephant, and I just got to bite off, one piece at a time. What is the saying? Because that doesn't sound right at all. But basically, we want to take it into smaller chunks, okay? So where you are and where you want to be, and literally you can just kind of chunk it into different boxes. So if I have, let's say I have 2 clients I'm getting consistently right now, and I want to get 5, so I need 3 more clients. So then what are some of my steps in order to get there? And they could just be general steps like make calls. It's similar to the stages of the sale, but I think of this a little bit as like more of an overall picture. So does someone want to kind of go through this with me real quickly to get a feel for like an example for that?
I would be willing to.
Okay, cool, Irene. So awesome. Okay, so if we had to chunk out your general steps within your business to, well, where are you and where do you want to be?
I have the right number of clients. I want either higher paying clients or more groups so that they count So my groups count as one high-paying client.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so you either want higher paying clients, I'm just writing this down, and how many higher paying clients, and let's be specific, what are they paying? Do you mind giving your prices?
No, not a bit.
Okay.
Well, for now I want like five $500 clients. I eventually want 10. And then, of course, I want more than that, but
Okay, wait, so $500 a month?
yes.
$500 a month, and you want how many? 10
5.
eventually, but five for
Oh,
now.
yeah,
Got it.
eventually I'm going to want a lot.
A lot more. Yeah, that's cool. But for now, like the next stage is like 5 clients at $500 a month?
Yes.
Okay. Or you said your group program, and what would your group program cost?
Well, I think I'm charging $150 for my next group, and then I would want at least 4 people in a group, so it would equal $600 a month.
Okay, 150.
So $600
Okay,
to $900 per group.
150. So say that again. And $6
to $900 a month for 4 to 6 members.
Okay, 4 to 6. Okay, cool. Okay, so one thing. Can I give you quick advice? A little side note here. This is for everybody.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, one thing I would do, like the difference between $500 and, for example, $529, which is what we charge if you paid in advance, is not going to make or break people, and it's not going to like change their decision of whether or not they work for you. So if you got 5 people at $500 a month, that's $2,500, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you increase your price to let's just use my example. You can do $529, you can do $549, but let's just say $529. What's $529 times 5? It's 5 times 3 is 15, right? So it's an extra $150. So it'd be $2,650 instead of $2,500. So one thing to mess with is just some pricing on that, because does that make sense? Like, might as well have it at $529 or 5. Someone told us in our other program, we have an ideal client attraction program, and she said she charges $236, I think. And she said she likes that because people ask why 36, and she said because she's Jewish and there's like a special kind of relevance to the number 18. So she charged $236, which is kind of cool because then she got 36 more bucks if she was thinking it's more like 200. So one minor thing, and it's an easy way to raise your price without feeling concerned about, oh my gosh, I'm raising my price, I'm really raising my price. It's just to find a little like tiny, increase in that. And then for 150, you can do, 167, you can do 179. And surprisingly enough, guys, I know I'm spending a little bit of time on this, but this is going to make you some extra money and might as well. But this has been tested, and numbers that are less round, like numbers like 529, 549, 167, 179 actually sell better than a flat 500 or flat 150. Cool?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Little tidbit. Okay, cool. So you want, let's just say 500 a month, 5 clients, or it's one or the other, or combination kind of thing?
Yes. Combination
Okay, cool.
would be great.
Okay, but you want at least 4 people in your group program, right?
Right. Yeah, each group has to be at least 4 people.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. All right, so what do you think is the next, so now you know what you want. You want 5 more clients, and let's just say it was both, because why not?
Mm-hmm.
Why not just say you might as well get 5 more one-on-one clients, so it's not confusing in your brain. So 5 one-on-one clients, and then 4, let's just say a minimum of 4 group. What do you think the first step is to getting closer to that goal, if you had to chunk it into little baby steps?
Well, I've just been networking and doing follow-up meetings with people, but the other day I gave a talk at an expo, and that seemed to make me more of an expert, so I guess more speaking engagements would probably be better.
Okay, so let's do that. Let's play that game, because I do believe that that's going to be the fastest path to cash. So before you actually do the speaking engagement, what do you need to do?
Well, I made a PowerPoint. I need to call up organizations. I need to find the ones that will have a speaker without you having to join their group. The last time I got stuck on that.
Yeah, that's happened to me too. Okay, so I would say the first box for you, because we're going to really simplify it, would be to make a list of potential speaking engagements.
Okay.
Right? List of speaking engagements. Now, that's going to happen where it's just going to happen where, some places are going to ask you to pay or not. You won't know until you call them. But one thing I found is that even if we do end up paying, it's worth it, which is like you still got to pick and choose. But start with the list, and obviously you can start making calls, and then sometimes they'll say, well, in order to speak here, you have to join, and then you can just consider it. How much is it? If it's $200, how many people are going to be there? That sort of thing. But for right now, we're not going to go into all the details, so we won't take up this whole call. But we want to get the different boxes. So the first box would be make a list of speaking engagements. What do you think the next box would be?
Well, setting them up.
Okay, so booking them. So would you make calls or do emails?
Yeah, making calls.
Calls. Okay. So you would actually make calls. Okay, cool. What do you think the next step is?
Follow up. Send information and then follow up.
Okay. Send info and follow up. Perfect. All right. So now you've sent information, you followed up, and let's say then are we thinking that's booking it within the same step, or would
usually people have
difference?
to, they have to see your stuff and I guess in the follow up you would book it, yeah.
Okay, follow up and book it. They just say yes or no, and then what would the next step be? So you've booked it, you've scheduled it, and then you go deliver it, right?
Right.
Deliver talk, and then at the talk, would you make an offer? Would your offer be the actual group program or working one-on-one, or would you just do like a free one-on-one and then sell them from the call?
I guess in the past I would have done a free one-on-one. I don't know if that's necessarily the best thing, but
one option to consider is to do like you could do you'll close the most sales if you have one-on-one time. So I would say a one-on-one, whether or not it's free or not. What you could do is you could make a small, like you could even do like a $29 one-on-one, like that goes to charity, or $29 application fee or something. Or I'm just saying a really small $29, $39, or $49. So $29 to $49 deposit. Or if it doesn't go to charity, then you can just say, if you question the value, you get your money back. So we'll do a one-on-one, see if it's right for you for my program, or working together. If you question the value, I'll give you your money back. Or you can always say, like, if you don't work with me, you get your money back. But because if you do all free stuff, then they don't value it as much. And then you definitely want to anchor it a little bit high. So you would anchor it, you'd say, typically people work with me. If I work with someone, I don't charge hourly, but if I did, it'd be $500 an hour, $100 an hour, whatever you feel congruent with, $200 an hour. But I want this to be an easy decision. I get that you don't know me, so it's just a deposit of $49. If you question the value, you get your money back. It's just I want to work with committed people, and if I do it for free, I'm going to get people who aren't committed.
Gotcha.
Okay. And then you get a one-on-one, and then you have a sales conversation, right? And from the sales conversation, the last box would be conversion or not, right?
Right.
Conversion. And then what's cool about the one-on-one is that you can decide if it's a better fit to do one-on-one, work with you one-on-one, or if it's better for the group program.
Yes.
And we just so happen, by the way, to fit all the boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. So does that help you guys? I wanted to give you an example. Those of you listening, because I know maybe your different steps to getting clients, it may not be exactly the same. But what I'm trying to do is drill down back to what are the chunks, because now we know, okay, the first thing she's got to do is make a list. So you just start in that box, and literally you'll just schedule a few, when am I going to make a list of speaking engagements? And you can always chunk it down further. Like, what do I have to do? I got to do an hour of research on the internet. I got to talk to people. I got to, what are those things? But now you know the major chunks so that you can schedule it, and you go, okay, now I'm going to schedule calls. That's my second box. And then I'm going to schedule the follow-up. That's my third box. I'm going to schedule, obviously schedule the talk and deliver the talk. Then I'm going to offer a clear offer of, do a one-on-one conversation with me for X amount of dollars, right? Then I'm going to have the scheduled sales conversation with them, call it a strategy session or call it a consultation, and then now you can use the sales process to convert. So let me hear really briefly from Jeanette, Athena, or Marie. Is that something you guys can take and apply as well, what we just did?
Oh, most definitely.
Yes.
Cool.
Definitely.
Good. And I don't know about you guys, but I get overwhelmed really easily. Like it's just like, oh my God, like it seems so big. But when I chunk it like this, I literally sometimes have to cover the page and be like, okay, my first box is list of speaking engagements, I can do that. And you know what, guys, if it takes you a week to get it done, like you did it, and especially if it's new, give yourself permission to just move forward and make progress. But at the same time, hold yourself to a high standard and just schedule it. Like if you schedule it and you think, I need an hour to do it, the cool thing is when you give yourself a deadline and a time frame that usually you'll get it done. And then you just do that one box, and then you have your next box of making the actual calls. And if you schedule making the calls, you give yourself an hour or two, whatever, and then you just make those calls. So one box at a time. Okay?
Sounds good.
Cool? Okay,
Yep.
So you guys can use that in your own. And by the way, I would encourage all of you, if there's, I love speaking engagements because I really do believe that that's the fastest way to making money. Because imagine, talking to one person at a time versus talking to even 5 or 10, even if it's a small group. Now, not only are you talking to more people at once, so the odds are higher, but also your positioning is much better. So if you guys can start thinking about, Jeanette, you're an accountant, right? Like how many accountants are out there speaking? Like not very many. Like imagine the positioning you would get from being the authority if you go speak about something that people want to know about, right? It's like, especially that's targeted to your audience. Marie, same, all of you. Athena, like you got marketing, you got photography, like all of you can be an authority in your area. And when you become that authority, you get positioning. We'll go a little bit into positioning, but one thing to consider, of course you don't have to, but to consider, since we just went through those boxes, consider trying to get a speaking engagement. I think that would be really helpful. Cool. So let's, yeah, go ahead.
Being I'm a photographer, a lot of the stuff I do is kind of like, it's almost like I call it a one-off. A lot of times they don't come back. It's not like an accountant or a coach where you have, many sessions. So if I were to do a speaking engagement, I would probably have to offer a discount, and I've done that before, and people don't necessarily sign up then. So what would be, I don't know what would be best to try to get them to book a session then?
Great question. Great question. Well, I would go back to how you can separate yourself from other photographers, and that's what we talked about in our initial one-on-one. You had this great idea about really focusing on helping people with their dating profiles and all that. Like I would go into that space so that you're just not a commodity like every other photographer offering a discount. Now you have something unique, right? You have this package where you help someone, basically like step into their real essence, their self, their image, like that they so they can be portrayed as the best person that who they are. So something around dating or something around meeting the person you want to be with, and you would target that audience and figure out like where do those people hang out. And then I wouldn't offer a discount per se, but I would offer, you can do the same thing, offer a free one-on-one or a low-cost one-on-one to find out how you can shorten the path to finding your mate, or shorten the path to finding your soulmate or something like that, and because that's the result that they want. And then within that, you do the sales process, and then you want to get them to buy one of your packages. So it's more simple when you have more of a niche or more of a unique offering. I have seen photographers, like we have photographer clients, one who was just recently on TV quite a few times, and so she has the positioning. She does newborn photography, and she has positioning that's like, higher than just any old photographer because she's on TV. That helps, right? But it's not about just offering a discount. It's about offering a result. So even if you're just offering headshots, let's say, remember we talked about, like, what is the result that they get? Like, what is the actual massive transformational value? Like, someone might be out of a job. If they have a headshot, it could get them a job. Or someone might be, slow in their business. And if they have the right headshot, they can attract more clients. It equals money. So if you frame it around the result, no matter what you're speaking on, you take the topic and the result, right? So, like, even if it's headshots, the result, like you come up with a topic about how to, you can even use like how to attract more clients in the first 7 seconds. That could be your topic, how to attract more clients in the first 7 seconds. And what they're going to end up buying is a package to do headshots. But it's not just doing headshots, it's actually the result of like being portrayed as, honest and trustworthy in who you are, and so that you're attracting those clients. And you can either offer a one-on-one at the end because it's about not just a picture, right, a photo. It's about understanding what their essence is so that it can be portrayed. Or you could offer a package, but I would say you're right that people will commoditize, oh, it's just a headshot. Well, I can get that somewhere else for less. So the takeaway from that is really like focus on the result. Get a topic that's sexy, a little bit of a sexy title, and then focus on the result. And if you focus more on the result and less on what they're getting, the actual stuff or the service or the product, then you'll get people to pay more for your services. Does that help, Marie?
Yes, thank you.
Okay,
I
cool.
have a statement
Yeah. Jeanette?
about with the photography. Is there a way
Yep.
that you can maybe trace or track, like, how many people say got a job, like the percentage-wise, like 80% of the people who came to me for headshots, got a job in the first, couple of months, or, whatever, that type of thing?
Yeah, really a testimonial. Just testimonials would be great. And that could be any testimonial. That would be great if you had, kind of like when we show testimonials with people actually, are making more money. That's nice. But it also, the emotional aspect is really important too, and having the before and after. Like, before I worked with Marie, like I had no idea how important it was to portray myself, in a certain way. Like I thought any headshot is the same as the next headshot. But boy, was I wrong, After getting a headshot from Marie, like I got a job in the first 3 weeks. I couldn't believe it. I've been looking for 6 months.
Okay, cool.
Or I got a date, or I met you totally have those dating ones. Like I met my spouse, we're getting married next month. You have those. So yeah, testimonials are great. Good idea, Jeanette. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Cool. So let's jump in. I know I'm on page, are you guys okay if I, go more in depth than just trying to get through all 20 pages?
Sure.
Sure, I am.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure, because honestly, some of this I can go through in 5 seconds, but then some of it I want to spend most of the time on. So if we don't get through all 20 pages, Trevor will cover it next week. But some of it's kind of like you can do, they're more like worksheets that you can work on at home. So are there any, we kind of went into some nice specifics here, but is there anyone want to celebrate and give me a celebration and a quick challenge that I might be able to help you with and get some solutions out there? We kind of just did one with Marie, but is there anyone else that wants to ask anything, need help with anything?
I'll give a brief celebration. I don't want to spend
Sure.
any more time because you always take time with me. I did my first PowerPoint presentation last week. It was so much fun, and it went off really well. A lot of people signed up for a session. So.
Really? What was the session?
A free session. But I've been fighting the PowerPoint for years. I just didn't want to do it. I don't really like them, but it worked.
Okay, cool. And by the way, like because I said maybe charge, because you're like, I don't know if I want to do that. The only reason I would charge money for your one-on-one session, as far as what's really a sales conversation, right? The only reason I would charge money would be if I will get higher caliber people. and people who are more committed. So for example, when I used to do free sessions as well. I would teach my money parenting, and then I'd say, if you want a free, strategy session or consultation, and then I'd get a lot of people who would flake. I'd call and I'd be chasing them, and that's like it kind of destroyed my positioning. Hey, when you want to set up your session, which you don't have to chase them on. But when I started I just charged $100 at one point. Then I got people who are more committed, and my conversions were higher. So at first, you want to cast a wider net because, honestly, you can get people who aren't so committed, but maybe when you do track them down, you get a one-on-one session with them, they maybe wouldn't have spent $100 to talk to you because maybe that, they have their stuff and they're scared, they don't know you. And then you might actually convert them. So I would say the only reason I would go from, going from free to charging would be if you're getting a lot of people flaking and it's costing you a lot of time, or they're not taking it seriously.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that sounds good.
But if they're taking it seriously and they're doing it for free, dude, free leads are great. I would do it all day long if I had people who are qualified. And then one more thing about that, if you do it for free, you still want to anchor a value. Here's what I'm going to do. Look, I get it. You've sat with me. You've been sitting here for 45 minutes, and I've been gabbing at you, and I want to give you some information, but I'm assuming, some of you want to take it to the next level. And typically when I work with people, they'll pay, $250 an hour to meet with me. But I want to make it really easy for you. And so I'm going to give away 5 free one-on-one sessions. And the first 5 people who do that, you're going to get it for free. And anyone can obviously hire me. You can call me up 2 months from now and hire me for $250 an hour. But if you want to get a jump start right now, one-on-one session, just the first 5 people, it's free. Now you've anchored it and you've set a limiter.
Mm.
So that's another way you can make it still free but valuable as free. Does that help?
Yes, definitely.
And you want to give them a reason. Last part on that is you want to give them a reason. The reason it's free is because I know I've been in your seats before, and even though I wanted to work with someone or I wanted to step up my business, I had, in my head, I was like, who the heck is this person trying to charge me? I just met him. I had some stuff going on, even though I wanted to step up my business. So I recognize that there are some people that just don't want to pay money the first time they see someone. And so that's why I did it, that's why I made it free. And the reason I only have, I'm giving away 5 is because, obviously I'm really busy. We're all really busy, right? I got my kids, I got my life, I got, my career. I want to be able to give that to you, but I only have time for 5. So if you give them a reason, they won't make up the reason themselves and go, oh, it's because, they're just using a limiter because that's a strategy. Oh, they're doing it for free because they want to get my business. So if you actually justify it, then, and actually Lisa Sasevich, I know you've taken her course, she teaches that, justify the limiters and justify the price and things like that. So that'll help as well.
Okay,
cool.
Thanks.
Okay, so let's move on here. So this is something Trevor went over, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but here's to remind you guys. I'll make this a little bit bigger. I think, hello, it's not getting bigger. Okay, forget it. So when you're making your offer, when you're closing the sale, it's very important to just be clear, concise, and compelling. All of the aspects of the sales process, the ultimate sales formula, kind of helps shape this, because how can you be clear? Well, you're clear when you have, your try, right? You have your 3 packages. It's clear. You got A, B, and C. These are the 3 ways that you can work with me. You're concise. That helps with the packaging as well, because you're like, this is what package A includes, this is what package B includes, and this is what C includes. So which would you like, A, B, or C? It's clear, it's concise, and compelling is really the guarantee and bonuses. So it's all encompassed, but it's good to create that in your mind so that you can remember, because sometimes people get to the offer and they just yap, right? They're, oh, well, here's package A. It's really great. If you work with me for 6 months, and it's $500 a month, and if, and you're going to get this result, and they go on and on and on and on, and then they're like, package B is this, and go on and on and on. Package C is this, and go on and on and on, and it's like, whoa, I'm so confused. I don't even remember what A is by the time we get to C. And I would, even though you have A, B, and C, you want to be clear about each one, but you also want to make a recommendation. So look, if I can tell by the end of the call pretty much what they're going to want to do, knowing I always ask about their income, so I also know what they potentially could afford. So I would say, look, I wouldn't say package A, but I would say, one way people work with us is that they hire us for a day. We call it the Quantum Leap process. It's a, $25,000 system. We work with people for 2 days, basically, and we've gone and we've let people. So this is not very clear and concise, but we've gone to like $5,000 a day to make it, easy for people. I don't think that's right for you because it's not really going to help you keep moving in your business. So I think actually working one-on-one, which is our next package, would probably be more appropriate for you. And 6 months is the minimum that we work with people. So for 6 months, it would be $2,500 a month or whatever. And I think that's right. Package C, you can join one of our virtual programs. I don't think that's going to get you the result that you're looking for. You're welcome to do that. That's a very low cost, but I actually think one-on-one is going to be the best for you. But you know better than I. So, which do you think? Is it, having 2 days together and really delving into your business, working one-on-one, or doing a virtual program? And then I shut up. But typically, I'll know where they're headed, and so I'll go more in one direction. So the takeaway from that is really know your packages, be clear and concise, and you'll have it written down. Like right now, I kind of made it up. But when you have it clear and written down, and especially, they kind of can see it in front of them if you're in person, that will help you. And then adding the bonus and the guarantee, that'll help it be compelling. Any questions on that?
No, that makes sense.
Cool. Okay, awesome. So this is just looking at the picture because this is really what this course is all about. It's all about getting your sales formula clear and knowing where you are in the process, okay? So one of the things I think I noticed on Facebook, someone was writing the questions you guys wrote on Facebook, and I know, Jeanette, you're not on there, but people were writing, deep digging questions, which are really good, getting to the pain and pleasure. What's important is to be clear when you're in pain and when you're in pleasure. So you want to separate those so it's not intermixed, because I think I saw some intermix going on, like you're jumping from, well, what is it costing you and what do you want, and then back and forth. And maybe I just read it, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but just know where you are in each stage. Know when you're in rapport, know when you're in why and in the pain section, and that you're digging deep and you're only letting them sit in the pain, and you let them sit there, and then pull them out of it with the magic wand. If you can wave a magic wand, what would it look like? What would your business look like? What would your photo look like? How would your image be portrayed? How would you be saving time by not doing your accounting or whatever, right? You pull them out of it, and then you let them go into their pleasure around what life would be like, and you dig into the emotions around that. So, for example, if I said, well, what would it be like if, so Athena, are you still here, Athena?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, awesome. So if you were working with someone and you work on their marketing, right? You do their marketing for them?
Yes.
Cool. So if I'm in Magic Wand, I would say, awesome. So now I know what they don't want, what it's costing them to not have their marketing done for them. And I would say, awesome. So if you can wave a magic wand, what would your marketing look like? Would you be doing it, or would someone else be doing it? How would that affect you on a day-to-day, your day-to-day life? And I'm shutting up, right? And how would you feel? Okay, what emotions would you associate to it? It sounds kind of woo-woo, but the more you get them to associate to how it actually makes them feel by getting that, the more they're going to want it. How would it affect your home life? Honestly, if you were getting all the marketing done for you, and so you didn't have to do that, and you were attracting more clients, and you were growing your business, and you can actually, because you're not doing it, someone else is doing it, you would have to work less. Would you spend more time with your family? Would you go on vacation? If you doubled your income, what? I'm just curious, where would you go? What would you do? And you don't have to spend a ton of time on it, but my point in this is that I want you guys to be clear. When you're in the pain, you're in the pain, and you let them sit in it. And when you draw them out of it into the future, it's called future pacing, you future pace them, you get them to see what it would be like working with you. You want them to be in that. And if you go back and forth, it messes with your emotion and it's not as powerful. Does that make sense, guys?
Perfect sense.
Okay, awesome. Cool. So this is just a review. And when you guys, like what I would say if you haven't done it yet, you really want to chunk this out, even if it's, even if, you need a few pages on this and high is like, half a page and then you go into the why. The way I would do it is kind of script it out. So what questions are you asking in high? Do you have family? How long have you lived here? Just give yourself a few questions. Most of you know how to build rapport, right? And then you go into the pain and you ask, well, what is it costing you? What are your frustrations, concerns, and challenges? So literally you guys can all have a very similar script, but then, Marie would have different questions around, their image maybe and what would it be like if you, got your photos back from your wedding. I'm in pain. What would it be like if you got your photos back from your wedding and you felt like it didn't look like you or you looked unhappy? Like every photo was captured and you had a grimace on your face. Like, how would you feel? So you can have more specific questions to whatever you're selling, but it's all separate. Then you're on the pain, then you're on the pleasure questions, and then you're very clear about your packages. Now, some of you might say, well, especially Marie, you might have headshot, you might have like a ton of packages. So you might have different sheets where it's for different things. Like this is my wedding packages. These are my, dating packages. These are my headshot type packages, right? Because you're not going to offer each of those things each time. Right? Your buy is just getting them, you're closing it there. Any questions? Did I hear something? Okay, cool.
Robin, I have a question about the difference between the pain and digging them out and the magic wand. Digging them out is just saying, what if you didn't have to worry about marketing, or what if you didn't have to, it's like just kind of reversing it?
No, it's like it's imagining life working with you. So if they said their pain was that, I just never get around to the marketing, or I do it and it takes me forever, and it's frustrating, and I find that like it makes me nervous because now I gotta write copy and I gotta write things that I don't know how to write it. Like what you help people with, right, Irene, is really getting clear about how to do their elevator pitch and that sort of thing. So they might say, I feel like people don't even understand what I do. And then you go, well, if you can wave a magic wand, how would people see you? What would they get after talking to you? How would they feel? If you did have that. So if we took away all that pain, basically, if you worked with me, and you don't have to say it like that, but essentially you'd say, well, let's imagine for a second that you went into a networking event and like somehow words came out of your mouth and like a minute later people were saying, wow, that's incredible. I'd love to hear more about that. Imagine, what would that be like? What would it be like for you if people said, wow, that sounds really interesting. I'd love to sit down with you and talk. That's the magic wand.
Is magic wand digging them out, or is magic wand the future promise or pleasure?
Magic wand is the pleasure.
Okay.
So when you say digging them out, it's more like a reframe, right? Going from this is what it's like right now, this is my pain, but now I want to basically find out what it would be like if I didn't have those challenges. If you can wave a magic wand, you're telling me that it's your go-to networking events, and like what happens is people say, what do you do? First of all, you're nervous. You don't know what to say. This is what someone's telling you, right? I'm nervous. I don't know what to say. I feel like it comes out differently every single time, and people don't even know what I do, and they definitely don't ask me, hey, can I sit down with you, and I want to work with you. That's what's happening. And what's costing me is that it's costing me clients. It actually stresses me out. It's making me nervous. I go, what other concerns, right? Well, I feel like I'm not going to get the clients. I'm not going to pay my mortgage this month because if I don't get more clients, I can't afford it. These are all the pain questions. Dig, 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 dig. And then you get enough pain to where it's uncomfortable. It should be uncomfortable. And then you just whoosh, pull the switch with one question. So I get where you're at. Wow, it sounds pretty bad. Silence. Whew, that sounds tough. So I'm just curious, if you can wave a magic wand, what would it be like? Now I'm starting to pull them out of it. So when I say pull them out of it, I'm taking it from pain to see them going to a future that is possible for them that they haven't necessarily thought about, or they have, but get them to that pleasure. So what would it be like? And then you can say, imagine's a great one to future pace them into like what it could be like. Imagine that you go to a networking event. Here you are 6 months from now, and you know exactly what to say. And you say it because you know it. You don't have to say, we figured it out and I taught you how to do it. You just get them to a future that they can imagine where they wouldn't have all those challenges, right? Imagine you're at a networking event. Because if you wave a magic wand, what would it be like? Well, it'd be like I'd have clients like at my doorstep, right? I'd have people asking me like, can I do business with you? I'd have people calling me. That's what it would be like if I could wave a magic wand. Awesome. So imagine for a moment, here you are. You're at a networking event. Someone comes up to you and they say, what do you do? And it just flows off your tongue. How would you feel? If you didn't have to feel nervous and you didn't think about it, like what would that be like for you? And then you let them tell you. And how would that affect your business? Wow. And like if that was happening in your business, like how do you think that would affect you at home, with your family, in your relationship, in your stress level? And then you get them to this place of like, wow, this is what it could be like. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you. That's good. That's very good.
Yeah, and I think the reason I brought it up is because if you mesh it all together, the power is lost. It works still. But if you mesh it together with what is it costing you and what do you want and like going back and forth, it's not as powerful as like I'm sitting in the pain. Oh, it feels crappy. I hate it. I want out. And then you as the coach, as the person on the other side of the sales conversation, you give them a one-liner to let them free. It sounds funny, but like to let them free out of that pain. And you say, well, if you could wave a magic wand, what would it be like? And then they start to dream. And then you just walk them through and pull them into that future that they could have. And you know that if they work with you, they'll get. Which is why, like, you got to feel like, oh my God, like they're so lucky if they work with me because I can give them all these things that they want. You got to believe it. But like, you don't know exactly what they want. So that's why you have to ask, and you got to pull, they have to tell you, as opposed to saying, oh, well, I can teach you how to, say it like, I can teach you how to do your elevator pitch, with flow and with ease, and I can, that's all good. You're going to tell them that later. But first you want to paint the picture like they've already done that work. The work is done, and now they've imagined a future where they're in it, and they've gotten that result already because now they can see it. They've seen it happen. And you brought them there. Make sense?
Yes.
Magical, isn't it? I swear, guys, it is really magical, as silly as it sounds, but this is what completely shifted my business. And also I got really good at delivering because once I understood their true pain and once I understood what they truly wanted, like the real pleasure, like what they would really, like the magic wand, like what the future would be like for them if they did that, I knew I could close that gap for them. As long as they were coachable and willing to work, I knew I could help them close that gap. And once they saw it, it was there. It was like in their imagination enough that they wanted it. And then all I had to do is say, great, well, whether you work with me or not, are you committed to getting that? Like it sounds like you would have a life of ease and with your family, and you bring them back when you close. Wow, it sounds like that would be really, really great. So whether you work with me or not, like are you committed to getting that? And once they say yes, you're in. And if they don't, you kind of go back. They're like, no, like I don't even know what you're doing it. Like I get it. Like I haven't told you even what I do. I just want to make sure because I won't even consider working with someone if they're not committed. So whether you work with me or not, are you committed? That's, by the way, the question, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you committed? So when we do the awesome A's, ask, align, associate, are you ready? It ends with, are you ready? Because like you want to make sure that they're committed, whether they work with you or not. And I say that all the time. Look, because they're like, that's when they think, oh my God, they're asking me to work with them, but I haven't even told them my offer yet. I just want to know, are they ready? Like you just told me you could have this amazing life. Like, are you ready to have that? And then, typically they're going to say yes. Now, if they say no, I go back and I say, I'm confused. Like, I don't care if you work with me or not, but, like, don't you want to have what you just told me? Like, it would be great. And then they say yes. Once they say yes, go look. Okay, awesome. So you're committed. So, would you like to hear about what I do and how I think I can help you get exactly that? You can even ask their permission. And they say, okay, well, I want to hear about it. I don't know. Like, they're still tentative sometimes, right? I don't know. Because I only work with people who are committed. Since you're committed, I'll at least tell you what I offer. By the way, we're recording this. I know there's a lot of language in here, and I know it can be overwhelming. But if you guys listen to this, just the language a bit about commitment and stuff, you'll start to get, it starts to just kind of sink into your brain. And you're sorting for people who are actually committed and motivated to take action and get the result. And you start using that language, and you'll notice that you'll get a high caliber of people, and even the people that maybe weren't, like, that used to, the same type of people who used to not be as committed, you see them step up. It's amazing, because when you have high expectations for people, they step into that, like they step into their greatness. You think they're going to be great, you see the future with them, they step into that. Okay, and so once you say, are you ready? Because are you ready is the very end of your why, just to fit it in so you know kind of where that fits in. Are you ready? Are you ready to make this happen? You just told me the future you want. And let's say they say yes. Great. Well, would you like to hear how I think I can help you get there? They say, okay, sure. Like, well, this is, I think the best way we can work together is like this, but I do A, B, and C. I think C is best for you, right? And so you go pretty quickly into the into the packages, and then you close them. And here, I'm going to give you guys one line. This is one, I learned from my coach. For buy, it's called a benchmark question. And once you've given them a recommendation, let's say, Irene, it's $500 a month, right? So I think here are my 3 packages, A, B, and C. Let's just say B is the $500 a month one-on-one. And honestly, based on what you've told me what you want and where you are in your business, I think working with me one-on-one is going to get you that option. And typically I charge like $1,000 a month to work with people. You can anchor them or not, or you can just say, it's $500 a month. I work with people for a minimum of 6 months. And I think the best option would be to do that. So here's the benchmark question. Is $500 an appropriate amount for you to invest to get blank? I'll say that again. So is $500 a month an appropriate amount for you to invest to get blank? The blank is backtracking everything they said that they wanted or everything they said they didn't want. Is $500 a month an appropriate amount for you to invest to stop being stressed all the time, fighting with your spouse, and to get like 5 more clients a month? Okay. And then, just to seal the deal, you say, look, I know this is a big step for you, and it seems like this is a good fit, assuming they say yeah. And I want to just say, like, look, I'm so confident that you're going to get the result that, like, we'll meet for the first month or first time or whatever. And if you question the value for any reason, you can have your money back. That's my guarantee. And on top of that, for $500 a month, you also get, access to my my group programs and whatever else bonus. Okay, so I wanted to go through the actual formula so you can feel it, like how it progresses through those steps, because what you should be doing is you should be crafting, based on what we've given you throughout this, this is now module 4, right, these 4 weeks, is you should be able to now start to really craft your own ultimate sales formula, using your language and, putting in these little bits so that you can really go and use this and close more sales. And I promise you guys, if you apply this stuff, oh my God, it's going to freak you out. It'll freak you out because people will be like they'll be saying yes before you're on your guarantee and bonuses. I mean, they're totally in. They're in before you get to try, because you say, are you ready? And they're ready. They're ready, and like even though they don't know your packages, they want to work with you. And then you're like, holy crap, that was easy. And that's when you start raising your prices, because like that's what happened with me. I was like, oh my God, they didn't even flinch. Okay, I'm going to go up in my price next time because I know my value is way higher than what I was charging, you know? Any questions on that? Because I know that was a lot, guys. Athena, how you doing?
Good, absorbing all of this.
What's that?
I said I'm doing good, just absorbing everything.
Cool. So, I mean, part of the reason I focus on, I mean, as you guys know, like some of you might be thinking, oh, wow, this is a lot, and this is, you know, a ton, and some of you might be thinking, oh, we already went over this, this is a lot of review. So we're reviewing it, but I'm kind of trying to structure it in different ways each time, because really the core, if you got nothing else, but you just knew this one page and how each section fits into your sales process, oh my God, this is really what you paid for. This is it. So it could feel like a lot, which is okay. And I would suggest, you know, just chunk each out. Try to like figure out what, you know, you would say in each little section, like your kind of your structure, not necessarily your script. And then, you know, you guys have access to this recording, so you can listen to it as much as you want, really. And each time you listen to it, you can pull out one new thing. And you don't have to get it all, you know, exactly right, you know. How are you doing, Jeanette?
Doing good.
Do you have any questions on that?
No, it makes a lot of sense. It got my mind thinking about different things that I could use in, you know, for myself.
Yeah. You know, and we have, I mean, I think we've simplified it. Like, I know I gave you a lot of extra nuggets, but like, so two things could happen. You could be like, oh, wow, this is great, and then you can just use it, you know, and some of you might be a little overwhelmed by it. So again, I'm just going to say, I know I'm repeating myself, but I really want to make sure you guys get this, because this is the valuable, this is it, you know, is that just do one chunk at a time. And honestly, if you just got the why, if you got the why section the best, and then you just knew, you know, then you just asked for the sale. If you just got why and you asked for the sale, you guys would close better than you do right now.
That's on mute.
Yeah, I can hear you back there.
My boys are.
Marie, how you doing?
Okay.
Any questions on that?
Nope.
All right. And Irene, and I think she just muted because she was talking to her husband. So how are you guys feeling on this? Because I want to know now instead of like hear later that, oh, that was great or overwhelming, or, you know, should we spend any more time? Are you guys ready to move on?
No, I'll be honest, it's a lot of information. It makes sense, but I think what's really helpful is that we can go back and listen to it again.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a lot, but then if you chunk it out, look, if you just take, I'm just going to simplify it again. High is building rapport. Most of us know, you know, most of you know how to do that. You want to ask some questions about them, and you can write some questions there. Why, I know it's not filled out here, but why, you're going to have two chunks, pain and pleasure. If you honestly just ask what are your frustrations, concerns, and challenges, and let them talk, that would be good. And then you really shut up and you let them talk, and you just ask them, even if you didn't know what to say next, you say, tell me more about that. Okay? And then after they've sat in some pain, you go, if you could wave a magic wand, how would you like it to be? What would you like? And then you let them tell you, and then literally you could say, tell me more about that. And then you could say, how would that affect your life in other areas? Okay? I'm simplifying, because this will still work really, really well. And then you go to try. Great. So are you ready to start getting those things? Awesome. Would you like to hear about how I might be able to help you do that? A, B, C. Cool. If you want to use a benchmark question, is $500 a month or is $350 for, you know, this headshot package an appropriate amount for you to invest to get a job, to get more clients, to get blank? And then you can add a guarantee and bonus. So if you're listening to the recording and you get to this part, that last little chunk, if it's overwhelming you, just listen to that part. and then, tell me more about that is a great way to get people to just keep talking.
So, Robin, do you ever tell them what?
Go ahead.
Do you ever tell them what you actually do? Because I didn't hear you say any of that.
What do you mean?
Is there any point in the process where you
try.
should tell them about what you do?
Try. I mean, that would be my packages. Try.
But do you say what you teach them in the package? Like if you do this, you're going to learn this, 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 and this? Oh, okay.
Yeah, totally. I just didn't go into it. I mean, because everybody's going to have a different package.
Right.
But I would say, I would give a brief summary of my 3 packages because I want to anchor them. So I would say, you can hire us for $5,000 a day, for a Quantum Leap. But actually, I don't think that's appropriate for you. The second option is to work with me one-on-one, on a monthly basis. And actually, that sounds like that's the best. And how it works is the, I would just say that's the next option. Or you can do like one of our virtual programs. I think the best option is working one-on-one for what you want. And this is how we would do it. And yeah, they're going to want to know what's the structure and all that. But I don't go into much of that structure. It's more like I need them to commit, yeah, I want to work with you one-on-one for that price. And they usually say yes before they know exactly what they're going to get.
And then you tell them, I'm going to teach you how to do your elevator pitch. I'm going to write your copy for you. I'm going to do blah, 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 blah. Do you ever say that?
Yeah, a lot of it's, I totally would. But it would be more back, like I get them to commit and they say, yeah, I want to work with you one-on-one. Like, because here's the thing, I would backtrack what they want, but I would pull out the things that I can help them solve, so to speak. So in your example, I would say, wow, because I led them, right, by asking those questions, I led them to tell me that they don't have an elevator pitch or they don't feel comfortable at a networking event giving their elevator pitch. And then when I said the magic wand stuff, I got them to imagine what it would be like if they were giving that, if they were doing it like effortlessly and in flow and whatever. And then they imagined that, and then I got them to see how it would affect their life. Then when it comes to, let's say, working one-on-one, I would say, so I think the most appropriate thing for you is to work one-on-one. So would $500 a month be an appropriate amount for you to invest so you can have total clarity on your elevator pitch? So you can walk into a room and, you would attract people, and then by just 30 seconds, whatever comes out of your mouth in 30 seconds would be effortless, and it would totally be flowing out, where people would end up saying, wow, I want to know more about that. So then I still focus on the result. Get it?
Yeah.
But I just told them I was going to do that with them without telling them what we're going to do, blah, blah, blah. And then they say, yeah, that's what I want. Awesome. And then, I basically get them to say yes, and I say, so what it would look like is this, is that we would work 3 times a month, and we would meet in person or we would meet over the phone, and really the focus would be ultimately to make that you feel comfortable. Like I keep focusing on the result, right? What am I going to help them get? And yeah, it's 3 sessions a month, and they, are anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. And I'll send them a contract that says the specifics of that. But I keep focusing on the result. Because if they go 500 a month and it's only 4 half-hour sessions, that's 2 hours. 500 divided by 2 hours is X amount per hour, right? They'll do the math if you focus on the it's called service delivery, right? So I say I focus on the result. Like in my financial planning, people pay me $9,000 to work with them for 6 months. And I say we meet 3 times a month. It's about an hour session. Here's the thing. I'm so focused on the result that, if it takes longer than an hour, I don't care. You're going to be my one-on-one client. Look, the result is this. We're going to make sure that this happens. In those 6 months, I'm going to make sure that you're clear about your money, that your relationship around money, like that you don't feel stressed, that you feel like you can talk to your spouse about money. And there's actually a system that we'll look at each and every month to look at where you're spending your money, and then actually your beliefs start to shift. When your beliefs start to shift, you'll notice that your behaviors shift as well. And the way that affects your money is this way, and I tell them, right? And then how that affects your kids is like this. And you told me that your biggest concern is that you're going to leave, you're going to end up like having kids who are not financially savvy because you are so stressed about money. And when we focus on, X, Y, Z around your beliefs and behaviors around money, that will start to shift in you, so that will start to shift in your kids. I'm result, result, result. So we work together for 6 months. By the end of 6 months, you'll have a foundation around your money. You'll know how to look at it. You'll know how to watch it grow. You'll know what to do if X, Y, Z, right? All result. And yeah, we're going to start by, I meet with you for about 4 hours. We're going to hit it hard to begin with so I can get really clear about what you have currently and how your money looks. And then we speak about three times a month. If you want another session, you just call me. If you need to talk to me, you call me. It's cool. You're my one-on-one client. Get it?
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm not trying to overwhelm you guys. I know that sounds like a lot, but here's the takeaway. Result, result, result. They need to know how it's delivered, but they need to know what they get. And as long as you keep going back to the result and what they get, they don't care how it's delivered. It shouldn't matter whether it's a half hour, an hour, or 3 hours. Okay?
Right.
How you guys doing?
That's like for myself. This is Jeanette. I
Jeanette.
do outsource CFO work, and I book it on a retainer, a monthly retainer. And the reason why I tell my clients is because I want them to call me during the month. I want them to ask me questions. I don't want them to think every time they're calling me the clock's going to start ticking.
Exactly, and I would tell them that. I would say the reason I do it like this is because you'll have more success when you can access me whenever you want. And my one-on-one clients get that type of access. If you want me to, clock in and feel like everything you mention to me is going to cost you dollars and dollars per minute, you're not going to get the result because you're going to be so nervous about that time clock ticking. So I do it like this so that you get a better result. It's always back to them and the result. That's exactly right.
Right.
Okay. I know it's 8:10, and because we're asking questions within, are you guys okay if I don't I can still ask a few questions, but I'm not going to go 2 hours. I'm just going to go to 90 minutes. If you have a couple questions at the end, I can stay after, but I want to respect your time. If it goes too long, it's going to feel like a lot. So I just want to show you guys a few more things, and then, finish up in the next 15, 20 minutes, and then if you have a couple more questions, we'll go into that. How does that sound?
That sounds good.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. You guys have seen the stage of the sale. I don't have to go into this again. We just put in the packet so you have it kind of in order. Again, get clear on your stages, and you can make several of these sheets because it might be a few different things, and just print them out and write it in. You can make it really simple. Just chunk it down. Okay, upselling. So really briefly on upselling, you just want to have the next, really it's kind of in the stages of the sale, you want to be clear on what's the next step. If they work with you one-on-one, so here I'll give you another example. For my 6-month program for finances, it's called Kim Jim, Know Your Money to Grow Your Money. It's a 6-month program for $9,000, and once they're done working with me, they need to know what other options are there. So I need to be clear at what point am I going to give them another option, and what is that option? Okay, so for me, the option is that they can actually invest money with me. That's one option. If they want to continue in the same format, they can continue it on a quarterly basis, which is a much lower fee. So I'm clear with that, and then all I do, I've known them for 6 months now, and so it's pretty simple as to what might be the next step, but I just need to get them moving forward, So Marie, if you have a bunch, like you said, that you have a lot of one-offs, right?
Right.
I would just challenge to maybe there are other things that they can do, if they do a headshot, what else might they do? Maybe you partner with someone who helped, let's say, maybe you partner with Irene or something, because let's say they have their headshot, but they don't know what to say. So maybe you have an upsell where you partner with Irene where, now that you have your headshot and you're going to networking events and people see on your website that you look great, I'd love to introduce you to Irene, because she actually helps people take the incredible new image that they have and to make it turn it into dollars. So one upsell could be partnering, where you guys have some sort of a split and you introduce them to Irene, and now they have an awesome photo and they have a way to use it. And maybe it's maybe Irene helps them with their copy on their website, or maybe Athena helps them with their marketing. You guys have resources here, So you can, if you don't know what to upsell them, think of what do those people need? What do they need to get the result now that they have their photo, or now that they have their elevator pitch, or now that they have their marketing, or now that they have their accounting, what do they need to have the life that they want? And then you fill that void, whether you do it yourself or whether you partner with someone. So that's something to think about, okay? The example we have here is, would you like fries with that, right? I mean, McDonald's has just systematized it beautifully. They say, you know, would you like fries with that, or supersize it, or whatever, right? And challenges here, this could be challenges that you might have with upselling. You can just capture. But the other way I look at it too is that, you know, as far as challenges, what are the challenges that they're still having now that they're done working with you, or that, you know, you can upsell them at the beginning too, but basically what void do they need filled? You're committed now to this person, to this client, getting results in their life. And if you can think that way of how I can serve them better, you can figure out a way to get to have a next step for them. Okay? Any questions on that?
No.
Cool. That's kind of a different way to look at it, right?
Definitely.
Okay, great. You guys did this last time. You just didn't have, he said you didn't have the handout, so I just want to show you the handout so you have it. 3 rules of referrals. Number 1, just to review, is to always ask. Number 2, ask for 3. Number 3 is give a gift. So you can use this sheet, write down gifts, any challenges you might be facing so that you're just clear. And then the form that we have, whoops, that's not it. Hold on. Yeah, this is our form. You have this as a download. Can you see that now? Referral form? Okay, so the way we do it, this is from our seminars, so we just have them put their name so we know when we call, we say, oh, you know, Susie referred you or whatever. And we were looking for places to speak, so we have a name of a group or contact. And it starts with, who do you know we can help? Those are the 7 magic words. If you remember, Trevor taught that. Who do you know we can help? And if you use those same rules and then you give them a place to write it down, that's pretty much it. Now, here's one little tidbit that we add. If no referral is given, they have to sign. Now, you may not want to do that, or you may not want to use this, but it gives people like, oh, I don't want to say no, I don't want to sign, you know, because we're trying to help people here. You can use the same thing in your one-on-ones. Look, when I first started financial planning, we absolutely had to get 8 referrals every time we met with someone. And I was meeting with friends and family at the beginning. And if we did not get at least 8 referrals, we would have to write down what were their objections and how did we deal with those objections. So literally we had to say, like, they said, no, I won't give you a referral. What was their objection? They didn't want to make their friends feel uncomfortable. And then we had to write down the 3 ways that we tried to reframe them. Like, oh, I understand, you know, how did we deal with their objections? I understand that you don't want to make them feel uncomfortable. The way I see it is like, imagine what it would be like if they could have the same, you know, like the same opportunity as you with getting clear on their finances. Who do you know that might want to get clear on their finances, or who do you know that stresses about money? And so we had to write down what we tried and what they kept saying no to. Okay, that was a good enough reason for me to ask for referrals. So that was because I was in like I had a broker-dealer that was like teaching me how to do this stuff, and we had to do that. So point being is that and by the way, when I did that, I got so many referrals. I never got that many referrals ever again in my life because I didn't ever have that type of pressure about having the consequence of writing it all down and all that. So when you make it a must, you get those results. So the main thing is to ask, okay? All right, so this is the part where we took from our mastery, our business mastery course, and this is the part that I want you guys to just take little pieces of because I don't want it to be too much. We have an ideal client attraction program that we also took a lot of this, you know, from our business mastery into that because this has to do with attracting your ideal client. But I'm going to give you a few takeaways, and I'm going to be done in the next 12 minutes. And you can use this or not, okay? This is a sales mastery course, right? So we focused a lot on the sale itself and the sales conversation, right? So it's okay. I'm just giving you guys permission to pass this, but we like giving extra value, okay? So positioning really is, these are the 5 P's of profit: position, package, partner, promote, and price. So these are things we work on when we work with our business owner clients. But number 1 is position, okay? And really you want to position yourself, we always try to position ourselves as an expert. So one way to look at it is, how are you positioned now? And this has to do with price in a way. And you can be positioned as like, I'm a high price. Trevor calls it, I'm a highly paid, trusted advisor. You can be positioned like that, or you can be positioned as cheap. Or most people position themselves as in the middle of the road. I'm not cheap, I'm not expensive, I'm kind of middle of the road. As you can see from that lovely visual, if you're in the middle of the road, get killed. Awful. I know, but it's true. If you're just in the middle of the road pricing-wise, it's harder to get clients, because then they're commoditizing you. They're looking at everybody else and how you're similar, and why can't I, Marie, why can't I just get a headshot somewhere else? If you were really highly priced, they're like, oh, there must be a reason she charges so much. This is a different result. So there's positioning that allows you to even by just changing your price, that's just an example, but there are a lot of ways you can position yourself. So up to you again, if you want to write down and do this. This could be extra tools that you can use. How are you positioned now, and how do you want to be positioned? And then this just gives you some examples. I'll use mine as an example. Who are you? Well, I used to be a financial planner, even a certified financial planner, but someone had called me the financial marriage counselor. So now I can say I'm known as the financial marriage counselor. And I created something called Money Parenting, which is how to raise financially responsible kids by leading by example. So I'm positioning myself as an expert. And we did this with one of our clients who is in the, he did renovations and that sort of thing, like handyman, renovation type of things. And one of the words that he chose from this list, I don't even know, it's there, was professional. And literally he started using words like professional, and I'm a professional renovator, I'm a professional whatever, exactly how he did it, but he claimed professional, and he noticed a huge shift by just saying that word. So how do you position yourself? You decide. You literally make a decision, and you use the language, and now people start looking at you as an authority and as an expert. Again, you guys can use this as an extra tool. This just helps you get clearer, just asks you to go deeper. Who are you really? Okay, it's pretty much the same. Lets you brainstorm some sexy titles, okay? And then obviously, the more you can attract people that you want to work with, the more likely you'll be able to charge what you want and close more. So a nice way to think about who your ideal customer is to just think of 3 people you've worked with that you would like to duplicate. And you can think about their age, their gender, their income. Again, I know this is extra stuff, so you don't have to do it, but if you want to be overachievers, you can just write down a few people and just, use this one step at a time. You write down some of their traits. And the last part of this page is, we always want AAA players. Are they a AAA player? AAA means, can they afford our services? Do they appreciate the value? That's actually most important to us, that they appreciate. We have lowered our price because they appreciate the value so much, and the third part is they're willing to take action. So we'll let people, we'll work with people because we know their financial situation, and we're like, you know what, well, we won't work with them as much as we would someone paying twice as much. But we typically wouldn't work at that price point. But they're so appreciative of the value, and they're so willing to apply it and to take action, that even though they can't afford our actual rate, we make it work. Because that's what we're for. That's what we stand for. That's what we live for. That's what we love. We want to make a difference. We want to make an impact. But affording is nice because that's important, that they can actually pay your rates, because you don't really want to lower your price. We lower our time, by the way. We just work with them once a month instead of 3 or 4 or 5 times a month. Okay? A couple other worksheets here. Okay? When you really delve into the ideal client, you want to get clear on what their problem is, get in their heads. Those 3 people, what were their problems? I would just use those examples. What are their real problems? That just gets you to think deeper. Okay? You guys can do one day at a time. Like one day you can do one of these sheets. You know, you can just print this out. We're just giving you extra stuff so you have it in your back pocket when you're ready to move, you know, get clear on your ideal client. It's actually pretty simple. And then how do you solve their problem? You know, so what their problem was is that, you know, they're overwhelmed with all the numbers, let's say, Jeanette, right? Like they don't want to look at their accounting and it stresses them out. Well, how do you solve their problem? You make it simple. They don't even have to do it. They send you one thing and it's done for them. They can call you anytime, so they don't have to be stressed about it. They can ask you questions. You know, what is the real result they get from working with you? They get, you know, they get peace of mind. They actually have time to do what they love and what they're good at, those sort of things. And how do you get them that result? Like if you can structure the way you get them that result as a process, and you name it like the ultimate sales formula, right? I have a Kim Jim process or Kim Jim system. Know your money to grow your money. There's a system in place. There's 7 steps. If you can turn whatever you do into a system, let's say the elevator pitch system or whatever, then it actually gives you higher positioning as well, and it chunks it out easy for them to understand. This is kind of a repeat. Who do you know we can help? This is just another way to look at getting referrals. We do something in our seminar that says we have people go around and we say, do you happen to know a dentist who works with kids? And then everybody feels really comfortable saying, do you happen to know a dentist that works with kids? And everybody, you know, if everybody can think of a dentist that works with kids, they know exactly who to think of. They either know someone or not, you know, versus, you know, people getting nervous or people being upset that they don't give them referrals or can't think of someone. So the more specific you are, do you happen to know an ideal client, someone, you know, that you would say is ideal, and then what they have, what they want or don't want. You can use the result. And some examples. Do you happen to know a woman business owner who makes over $250,000 a year? Let's say for someone who's a financial advisor looking for that. Do you happen to know an insurance agent who wants to get more referrals and keep their existing clients? Do you happen to know a stay-at-home mom who's unhappy with her kitchen? Okay, so you can kind of get an idea of what the person would do based on that question, and it's just a very, you know, kind of pressure-free, easy way to ask people for referrals. That's who do you know we can help. And honestly, I'm going to skip this because this can be overwhelming. This could be taught like next time. So I'm going to stop there. Let me just see what else we have. Okay, I'll just show you this last page. Here's just a summary. Okay. So again, use this as much as you want. Let me just see what's next steps. Okay. Use this as much as you want. We just wanted to give you, we always want to give you more. And honestly, if you didn't look at any of that and you printed it out and you stapled it and, you know, a week later or a couple months later, you're like, you know, I really need to focus on my ideal client now. Now's the time. Just go through one worksheet at a time. It's pretty self-explanatory. And even if you don't know exactly, like here's a good summary. Well, who are you? Well, I am blank. How can you make it sound cooler? Who's your ideal customer? You know, I am known as the financial marriage counselor, and I work with parents with young kids. What's their problem? Who have the challenge of knowing how to manage their money and who are stressed all the time about money and actually don't get along well with their spouse around money, something like that. And I help them with my Kim Jim, Know Your Money to Grow Your Money system. I help them get clear about their money so they can feel, less stressed, feel empowered, and they can have the financial blueprint or financial, financial foundation for their future, for themselves and their kids. Okay? Who do you know we can help? Why would someone choose to work with you? Just good things to write down. I know I just gave you guys a lot, but actually I think it's pretty easily chunked. Now I'm ready for any questions. Who has a question on any of that? Okay, how you guys doing? How are your brains? Uh-oh, I hear
Tired.
Yes, a lot to try to digest. I know I'm going to have to watch this over again just to make sure I get my my sales process down pat and get it properly.
Cool. Well, you know, That's awesome, Athena. And you're right. Like the more you listen to it, the more you'll get. But here, let me just, just to take it off, like as it's okay. Give yourselves permission to get just a little piece of it, because here's the truth. Like any little distinction. And I know, Jeanette, you sent me something like that. Jeanette sent me an email that said Jeanette sent me an email that said, I'm starting to think outside the box. Like, what are those little tweaks that are happening in your mind right now, the distinctions? So if nothing else, put it aside. Be okay with putting this aside. Let yourselves digest it. That's cool. You can listen as much as you want or as little as you want. But then allow yourself to take little parts of this and then go with that. What are you going to take from this that will help you? And let's just say you put all that stuff I just taught, in the last, all about positioning, because that's just extra stuff, and you just put it on the back burner. You don't need to do that right now. And let's say all you do, ladies, is go to this page. Where are we? Where's my highlight? Oops, there it is. Okay, because this is really what you want from this course.
Yes.
All you do is erase all that. What's that?
So that's the page I'm looking at right now. That's where I think I'm really going to focus, because
that's all you need to focus on.
helped me a whole lot, and it gave me other words to think about using to help myself. But this is the part that I really need to get, because sales terrifies me. So you're breaking it down where it's easy for me, because now I'm not afraid to mess up, or I'm like, I don't know what to say. What the heck do I say? So you're giving me things to say, and it makes sense, and I'm asking questions, so I'm finding out more information, and I'm finding out actually exactly what they need. So then all I'm doing is repeating what they need, and then giving them results. So, I mean, this is easy, and this is the part that I'm really trying to digest.
Awesome. That is perfect. And that is exactly, you said it perfectly. I mean, what are you really doing in the sales process? What are you really doing? You're asking questions. And like you said, you're like, what do I say? But really it's, what do I ask? What am I asking? And then you let them frickin' talk. You let them talk and you listen, and you actually listen to what they're saying so that you can pick out things to dig deeper. And then again, if you can't think of what to say, to dig deeper, you go, tell me more about that. Tell me more about that. You just said that you're frustrated, that you don't have time. Tell me more about that. You're like, people love to talk. I don't know. I just feel like I never have time. I'm doing everything, and I have a family, and I have this. And like, wow, that sounds intense. And you shut the hell up. And you let the silence do the talking. Guys, if you just add silence into your sales process, oh my God, it lets the tension build.
And then you just say, give us the magic wand after that? So you just let it be like a long, awkward pause, and then you say, what if? Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, and a really good line, like the way to write it down would be, if you can wave a magic wand.
Okay.
If you can wave a magic wand, the actual NLP phrase is, what would you like? What would you like? That's actually NLP 101, what would you like? So literally, I added the magic wand. I've heard that from my mentor. Like, if you can wave a magic wand, what would you like? What would life be like? What would it be like? Yeah, you literally let them sit in the pain. I mean, watch out, ladies. You start to see people cry. It's okay. Don't start filling the gaps and letting them, don't comfort them. Instead, you align with them. You ask, align, associate. Are you ready, right? So we're bringing it all together. You ask, wow, what is that like? I'm in the pain. Silence. Wow.
How long do you wait? How long do you wait in the silence? Because I wasn't even good at that when I was a therapist.
I noticed that because actually I was sitting in silence, and then you just came in and talked, because I was like, yeah, I was giving you guys an example. So a little longer than you feel like you should. So Irene, real quickly, ask me a couple pain questions. Let's do a little bit of quick role play. And then silence.
So what is that problem costing you?
I think it's definitely costing me time. I feel like I am always busy and stressed out, and I'm sure if I were doing what I'm really good at instead of all the crap that I don't like to do, I would be enjoying life. So I think I'm costing me, like I feel stressed. I'm not getting the result. I'm not getting as many clients as I should because I'm focusing on things that I'm not good at,
And how's that affecting you, your relationships and your home life?
Definitely. The more stressed I am, the meaner I am to my husband. Not very nice. By the way, I just deflected. Okay. So I'm deflecting because I don't want to go in there. So you can laugh with them, but then make sure you bring them back to the pain, because my go-to is to make a joke, right? So, so you might want to say, well, tell me more about that, So let's say, so, I obviously, if I'm treating my spouse poorly or, getting frustrated because I'm stressed, then that's not good for our relationship.
Oh, I hate this.
That was awesome.
Oh,
do you guys feel that? Do you guys feel that?
Yes.
Like you actually had me sit in it, because what's going on is after I said that, I'm waiting for you to ask me another question so I can get out of that feeling, because that didn't feel very good, and you let me sit in it. And the way you can do it, if you're in front of them, what you do, back to report, you breathe with them, and you nod your head a little with the expression of, wow. And if there's anything to say, it's, whew, wow. Yeah, that's tough. Deep breath. What's that like? Do you feel it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you got to feel. When I did this in front of the room once, I really got into this woman's pain, and I felt really icky. And by the way, I was giving an example of this process, and I was digging into the pain, and I was just showing the pain part. And by the end, I felt so sick to my, not sick to my stomach, but I really felt yucky as I was in her pain. I was so in rapport with her, and I was asking her these questions, and I was aligning with her so much that I felt really bad. And then she sat down, and I was like, get back up here. I got to take you into the pleasure. This feels like crap, And so I got back up, and I said, well, if you can wave a magic wand, what would you like? And then she told me, and then I said, well, tell me more about that. And then she started to go into what it would be like, and then I was like, okay, you can sit down now. It felt so bad. I couldn't handle it. So if you don't feel their pain, then there's not enough silence. Yeah, good practice. So what you guys can do if you want, you can go on Facebook. I guess not everybody's on Facebook, but do you guys want to pick a partner, exchange numbers, exchange emails or something, and practice the silence? Just do a little bit of the pain and the pleasure, just the why. Would you guys be willing to do that?
I would, yeah.
Anyone else?
I would love it. I need someone to practice
Okay,
with.
Cool. So Athena and Irene will partner you up. I'll make sure you guys have each other's numbers. What about you, Marie and Jeanette? Would you guys be willing to spend 20 minutes on the line or 30 minutes with each other before next week and just practice the why section and giving each other silence and letting them go into the pain and pleasure?
Sure.
Cool. Marie, still on the line? She might have dropped off. All right, she might have dropped off. I heard her drop off, so maybe she had to go. Okay, so here's the homework, okay? I'm going to make sure you guys have each other's info. Okay, so you guys, and Jeanette, I'll talk to Marie. I'll make sure you guys can connect, okay? And really, you don't have to go, you can use your specific questions, and you can just ask the person to, I know this might not be you. Can you think of someone you know and just role play, get into their, and you know what, we're all going to go into the reality a little bit of our situation. So there should feel some little, realness to that. But, literally, Jeanette, you would ask Marie, let let's say she doesn't care about accounting, so it's not maybe she's not your ideal client, but you can still ask her similar questions, right, around her business. And, you know, I'm sure every one of us doesn't like to look at the numbers, you know, and like, so whatever you ask. What's that?
Every small business is a potential client because, you know, everybody likes to do what they do best, and not many people like to do accounting.
Right. So just don't prospect each other. Got it? You know, use this as an exercise. Like, just don't try to like convert or something, you know. This is an exercise. They're not your client. They're role playing, and then the person that's role playing, just get into it and actually connect, associate to a little bit of pain, even if you're pretending to be someone else or you're yourself. Okay? And then the person asking the questions, obviously in control, get them into the pain, let them sit. And your job is to have really uncomfortable pauses. And you don't talk in the middle, like don't, like I did, break the session. You know, don't say, oh, you know, how did that feel? You go all the way through. Let's do a 15 minutes each, okay? So look at your clock. You guys only get 15 minutes each, and your job is to dig into the pain as much as you can so it's uncomfortable. Of those 15 minutes, let's just do pain and pleasure separately. So I'm just trying to think. You don't need 15 minutes for pain. Let's do it together. Okay, 15 minutes pain and pleasure. Okay, pain should be about, I would say, 9 to 10 minutes of that 15, and pleasure is the 5 to 7. Okay, so literally, if Irene's working with Athena, you're looking at your clock. You get her into some pain pretty quickly. You got to dig deep. Okay, about 9 minutes. You say, after you've sat in silence, that's the important part, you let it sit, because you guys have to get out of the pain, otherwise it's going to feel like crap, okay? So you let it sit, and then you say, well, what would you like? And actually, the last 5 minutes are enough. You don't need to spend as much time on the pleasure. It's more pain, okay? You guys clear about your homework? 9 to 10 minutes in pain, the last 5 minutes in pleasure. Then you do a quick, you know, debrief of that. Athena, how did that feel? Did you feel like I gave enough silence? Did you feel it in your tummy? Like, I don't know about you, I feel it in my tummy. Some people feel it in their shoulder. But did you feel the silence? Like, did you feel like you were really connecting to that pain you were associated? So she'll give you some feedback within 5 minutes. Look at your clock, because I want you guys to not end up spending too much time, okay? 5 minutes debrief, that's it. And then you switch, 15 minutes and 5 minutes. So it's a 40-minute exercise. Can you guys commit to 40 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
If not, talk at the beginning of the thing real quickly. Hey, can we still do 40 minutes? And the person says yes or no. Really quickly, Kay, don't chit-chat, because if you guys become too good of friends, like, it might make you a lot of money. So I'm just kidding. Okay, but 40 minutes. No, I really do want you to keep an eye on time, because if this ends up being a 2-hour process, you'll never do it again. Like, use your clock, okay? 15 minutes, 5 minutes debrief, 15 minutes, 5 minutes debrief. If you guys want to talk more after that, it's up to you, but I would actually set another appointment, you know, to do it again or something like that, okay? That's your homework. Let's just leave it as that. I wouldn't focus on the ideal client stuff at this point. Any overachievers are welcome to look at it, of course. And then the other second part is just, if you haven't gotten your script for your ultimate sales formula yet, is to just, you know, if you want to go into each of those sections and get a little more clarity on each one and make sure you know what questions to ask. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Any last minute questions? I think we got good stuff, right?
Lots of it.
Yes.
Cool. But, you know, don't make it so big. It's like you have really, like, all you got to do is that one piece of homework and then this one sheet. The one sheet that's still up, that's the only thing you really need to look at right now. And you can, you know, you always can listen to the recording whenever you want.
Wait, Robin,
okay?
which one sheet is that one with all the boxes? What, page 20? Is that it?
No. Page 5, the ultimate sales formula. High, wide, try, buy, guaranteed bonuses. Like, honestly, that is everything. It's just we're sorting things into it, but more or less that's the main focus. Okay? So unless there are any other questions, I'm going to sign off so I can respect your time. We did pretty well, went over 12 minutes, but I want to make sure you guys have, that's actually really good homework that came out, so I'm glad that happened. Any last minute questions?
There's a Facebook group for this one.
Yeah, are you not in it?
No, I'm not.
Okay, I'll make sure you're in that.
Okay, thank
cool.
you.
Okay, guys, I will connect you guys via email so that you guys have each other's information, Athena and Irene, and then Jeanette and Marie. And I know Sandy's not here right now, but we'll work on her separately, so don't worry about that. And I'll maybe, if someone wants to do it again, we'll worry about that next week. Okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, guys. Awesome job.
you.
Just let it sink in. You're doing great.
Thanks for your help.
All right. Take care, guys. You'll have Trevor next week, and then I'll probably jump on if I'm around. All right, guys. Take care.
Okay, thanks. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.